Hello again. I spoke this morning about the way that race and gender can be combined in one handy package, using a black man to model women's clothes, 85% of which will be bought by white women in this country, is an example of how these two themes work in tandem. From having only white women models in advertisements, we move to having mostly black people. And then it's merely another short step to having not black women, but black men model the dresses and skirts. The race relations industry often borrows heavily from the struggle against sexism, but the result can be malignant. Most readers are, for instance, probably familiar with the concept of the male gaze. This was originally the notion that men looking at women and girls in paintings and literature tended to show or experience women's bodies being reduced to objects of sexual desire for men. The expression has widened in meaning to a general idea that women don't like guys staring at them, and that men have a particular way of looking at women which is undesirable. Other kinds of gaze have since been devised, such as the female gaze, the queer gaze, and, perhaps inevitably, the white gaze. This is the assumption that literature is always assumed to be read from the point of view of a white person, and that this has the effect of distorting the writing of black people because they always have at the back of their minds the idea that what they write must be interpreted by white people. Now, that's an interesting idea. I haven't got any objection at all to that sort of thing. It's fine when it's merely an aspect of literary theory, but it is when it spills over into real life that problems can begin. This summer, a play by a black person with the title Tambo and Bones, essentially it's a knockoff version of Beckett's Waiting for Godot. It's being performed at the Theatre Royal in Stratford. And on July the 5th, there will be a so called Blackout Day, when, according to the theatre, there will be the purposeful creation of an environment in which an all black identifying audience can experience and discuss an event in the performing arts, film, and cultural spaces free from the white gaze. In other words, that day will be something like the segregation, which was once so popular in certain of the southern states of America. White people will not be welcomed, and it is hoped that only black people will be present. I find this an extraordinary idea that words fail me. Is this really the direction in which we are moving? Do we really want to see separate performances of plays or music in this country only for those belonging to one ethnicity? And do those organising this event realise just how terrible an idea this is? I wonder if this scheme will, as they say, gain traction. I shall be watching with great interest. I remember going to see Oliver Samuels, Jamaican guy, at Hackney Empire, talking now probably 35 years ago. There were hardly any white people in the audience. Oliver Samuels was hugely popular with Caribbeans at that time. I suspect it's going to be the same kind of thing with this play. I don't think they're going to need to hold special events only for black people. I rather think that probably the audience of this thing is going to be black anyway.